Any objections? See none, so move. All right. So at this point, I'm going to have Councilman Ricardo Pacheco lead us in an invocation, followed by the flag salute. So I'll ask all those that are able to stand to please do so. Thank you. That's fine.
Father Jonathan is here.
Oh, he is here?
Right there
Where?
in front.
Oh, well, why don't we have Father Jonathan? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Cruz Baca. Councilmember, already.
God, we thank you for gathering us here tonight. We thank you for the gift of government, for democracy. And as we take part in this city council meeting, guide our representatives, guide our leaders, that they might listen to the voices of their people, to their community, and might have a heart, Lord, that is open to leading this city to greater glory, to a better place, and that all of us might be filled with graces, with patience, with understanding, with a heart that is open to listening, that we might also be able to see you, God, and one another. So bless this evening, and bless our leaders, and bless all the people in Baldwin Park. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. At this point, we'll face the flag. Place your right hand over your heart. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much, and good evening to everyone. At this point, council members wishing to close on any on anyone's behalf. All right. See none at this point. I will have the City Treasurer, Maria Contreras, take roll call.
Good evening, everyone. Buenas noches a todos. Councilmember Cruz Baca.
Here.
Councilmember Monica Garcia.
Here.
Councilmember Ricardo Pacheco.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Susan Rubio.
Present.
Mayor Manuel Lozano.
Here. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Alrighty. So at this point, we have a couple of presentations.
Mayor, before we move
yes,
forward, I just want to thank our staff for organizing the beautiful Valentine's dance for the seniors. It was really a nice event. So thank you, Manny Carrillo and your staff. We really appreciate it. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilmember. Appreciate that. Alrighty. And at this point, I want to just recognize we have from the Baldwin Park Unified School District, Mr. Lopez. Thank you for being here today. Do we have any other dignitaries?
Yes, Santos.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Santos. Where's Mr. Santos?
Back there.
Okay, in the back. Thank you very much for being here. Also, Veronica Lopez, a field representative from newly elected Assemblywoman Blanca Rubio as well. So thank you for being here.
I think we have some Valley County Water District.
Valley County Water District, Margarita Vargas is always here.
Paul Hernandez.
And Paul Hernandez as well. All right, thank you very much. And I know that they just appointed one of our commissioners as well, Mr. David Muse, to the position as well. So thank you and congratulations to him. What's that?
Father Jonathan.
Yes. All righty. Okay, so at this point, the presentation that we have, the first one is the plaque expressing appreciation to Captain Joe Bardinelli for his service as an interim chief of police. So we'll have Chief come on up here. We're going to present the plaque that reads Joseph D. Bardinelli, Ballpark Police Department, September 2016, February 2017. In recognition of your exemplary service as an interim chief of police, thank you for the dedication and leadership you provided to your department, colleagues, and the entire city. Congratulations on a job well done. So on behalf of the city of Ballpark, come up here, Chief. I want to thank him. Just to let everyone know, he's one of the senior officers that have been here since 1988. So to congratulate you as well. Thank you, Chief. You want to say any words? Come on.
I'd like to thank you for giving me the opportunity to step in as the acting chief of police. And it was a pleasure to lead the fine men and women of the Baldwin Park Police Department and to represent our community. I want to thank you for giving me that chance and opportunity. and looking forward to leading the department through this transitional period and moving forward.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Get a picture. Can you use my camera? We're going to take our photo. All righty. Oh, here we go. Oh, I left it at home. That. Thank you, Chief. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. All righty, the next item that we have here is a presentation by Sam Gutierrez, Interim Public Works Director, to provide a status update on the medium landscape improvement tree replacement program. So, Sam, thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, council members, staff, and residents. At the last meeting, you asked me to come back at this meeting to give you an update on the progress and what we're doing as far as planting and removing trees from our center medians. So it's been we've had a lot of feedback from the community. I get daily phone calls asking about the trees. It's been a shock, especially at the pace we're going, taking out the trees. And tonight, I kind of want to start with giving you a general update of where the project is at the moment, right now, and also give you about a 4-week look ahead on what we're going to do within the next 4 weeks. So the project commenced on January 23rd, 2017. We started removing trees on Ramona and Amar. We also removed some of the dead grass and turf there. Prep work on Amar has started for the irrigation system. Some trees were skipped on Ramona because there's a conflict with another project, the Corax Storm Drain project, and we didn't remove those trees, but we'll be coming back to those. Tree trimming has started on Ramona and Baldwin Park Boulevard. There has been some rain delays. We're expecting more rain, so we'll have some more delays. This week, we did not remove any trees. I met with the landscape architect to reassess the remaining trees and see if we can save some of those, and I'll get into that a little more later. Okay. Also, the architect has started the process for the rebates. And that's where we're at now. Now, looking ahead, we are going to be coming back and removing the skipped trees on Ramona. And there's about 20 trees there that we're going to remove. There are 3 trees to be removed on Badillo and 2 trees to be removed on Baldwin Park Boulevard. And I'll get into this more in the next slide. We're going to continue with the clearing of the turf, removing the roots, and doing some stump grinding and some grading, and we're going to start installing the irrigation system. So I think this is where we'll be in about 4 weeks. So we've removed 78 trees to date. These trees were identified by a certified arborist before the project began, and the criteria mostly was dead trees, diseased or declining trees, trees that will not survive the new low water system, and those trees that may pose a safety hazard, maybe a structural problem or a root problem. So this picture there at the end, the leaning pine, that's one of the trees that we're going to be removing from Baldwin Park Boulevard. The arborist identified the roots as girdling, and it usually leads to falling of the trees, and there's some power lines in the vicinity, and we just don't want to deal with that. So that is the only pine. That is the last pine that we're going to be removing. So all in all, we're going to be removing 25 trees, and that'll be it.
You need 25 more.
25 more.
Okay.
And that'll be
I'm
it.
sorry, Sam. Can we go back to the may pose a safety concern? I
Sure.
just think those are so beautiful. There's no way to save them. I know the issue is the leaning part, right? There's nothing they can do, like set up some kind of structure in the bottom to hold it up?
The time to have saved this particular tree has gone by. Usually when you identify the girling roots, you immediately start trimming and doing things to make the tree hopefully survive. But for this tree, we can't. We can't do anything.
Thank you.
Just one, Sam.
Yes.
So we're
it's
talking about
just-
the one that's leaning, the
right,
one on,
That's
okay.
the one that's leaning.
You know what, I just, and I shared that with Shannon this afternoon, I just find it hard to believe that we have so many trees that are diseased, yet you continue on down Badillo, the unincorporated area, and then Covina, all those trees are there. So I don't understand what's the difference, the gravel or see, that's why I have a hard time. I wish the botanist or whomever, who is it, a botanist or who was the person?
No,
that
it was
was
a certified arborist.
Okay, arborist,
And
excuse me.
I do have her report, and for every tree she has a comment, and I can provide that. To
Would have been
council.
nice had she been here tonight. I really have a hard, and I don't want to see any more of these pine trees go down. I think we need to be able to save the ones that are here now. I mean, just the ones they took down here downtown, it's terrible. Now, the ones we're planting, are they eventually big
Yes.
trees or?
Yeah, and I'll get into that in the
Okay,
next
go
slide,
ahead.
But yeah, this is the last pine that's coming down. There will
Okay,
be
no more,
pines
that's
after
it.
that.
But Mayor,
Yes.
one moment, please.
Yes.
I go to Santa Fe Dam all the time, and I see that they're cutting down a lot of the trees there as well because I see the wood piled up on the side and the trees are gone. I did ask someone, and they did say that when they notice that the trees are dry, especially pine trees that are used to the colder weather and also lots of rain, and they've been through that many years of drought, there is danger that they will fall. I don't know if you saw the news, but there was just a huge tree in Pasadena that just, where was it? Whittier? Oh, Elster and Whittier. I'm sorry, I saw the one in Pasadena, a huge pine tree that nobody knew that it would ever fall or whatever it did. It fell on a house and some cars and whatever. So I think it's better to be safe. Yes, the trees look really beautiful sometimes, but I would also like to avoid it falling on passengers or people or residents.
And I agree, and that is the concern with this particular tree, and that is the last pine tree. There are other pine trees identified to be removed in Baldwin Park, but we stopped it. So, and that is with the architect's blessing. So, I kind of want to point out the liquid ambers. That's the picture on the far left. 58 of those trees were scheduled to be removed. 49 were identified to be dead. So that's about 85% of those trees that were dead. So liquid ambers will not perform well under the stress that they're in now and the new irrigation system that we're putting in. So where the liquid ambers are being removed, we're putting back pines. And that takes me to my next slide. Wow.
Oops.
I don't know what happened here. So we can,
There
we
you
can
go.
use this. So we're putting back 144 pines. Ramona will have 325. Baldwin Park Boulevard, we're putting 25 new trees on Badillo 57 and on Amar 9. And here's what those trees look like. We're also going to be putting in a colorful palette. This here is a sign that will be going up this Friday in 3 key locations to let the residents know what we plan to do and what kind of trees we're putting back. There'll be big signs, dual-sided, for opposite sides of traffic. Any questions?
Well, all right, so how many total, you said, is it 400 new trees that are coming in? When you say the pine trees are coming, are we talking about little small pine trees that are to be expected to grow in the next 20 years or so? Or
Yeah,
what?
they're 24 gallon. Actually, you know what? I think I have a graphic for those. Oh, there you go.
Okay.
Those are it there at the on the left. That's a 24-inch box, and that's what they're going to look like. So where we're taking out all the liquid ambers, where you see the empty medians, that's where these are going.
Well, that's fine with the liquid ambers, and that, you know, of course, yeah, you want to be concerned that these trees aren't diseased and just all of a sudden just start falling down. I mean,
And that picture on the left, that's the city of Glendora.
okay.
So, Mayor, I
Yes,
do
go
have
ahead.
additional questions.
Sure.
So, Sam, you mentioned that 78 trees have been removed to date, and those are mostly along Ramona Boulevard, correct?
Correct.
And there are still an additional 28 trees that are identified
25.
25 to be removed by the end of March.
Right.
And those pose a serious concern.
Only 4 of those. Those are dead or declining, and the ones that are posed a safety concern is only 3. There's 4. There's 3 on Badillo, and then there's the pine on Baldwin Park Boulevard.
Okay.
Others were identified to be dead. We drove the site today with the architect, and we verified.
So the 4 out of the 25 are a serious concern. And then the remaining 21, that's mostly for the future, planning for the future, trying to be responsible as far as drought tolerant. And
Correct.
okay. So would we be able to have another session with the arborist?
Yes, that'd be nice.
And to address the 4 that are of serious concern, but then for us to go back to the drawing table and then reconsider what we do with the remaining 21 that are slated to be removed in March. Perhaps there's like a succession plan that we can talk about, or maybe a phased project that we can consider, because yes, we do want to be responsible, but in doing that, we also want to, these are beautiful trees that our community has, we've grown accustomed to seeing them over so many years, so it pains us to see them being cut down. So I would say my recommendation would be, yes, let's address those of serious concern, keep the remaining 21, come back to the drawing board, let's have another discussion about phasing this project.
Okay.
And perhaps in doing that, we can address Ramona Boulevard, which all the trees have been taken down, and that would be phase 1. And then we can look at a succession plan for the remaining areas. That would be my recommendation at this point. But let's have a study session and have a council conversation.
Absolutely. I can definitely invite the arborist and the architect to come here and talk more about that. But another option could be to not do anything now, and as the tree either survives or dies, we can come back on a case-by-case basis and remove those at that time and replace them with something else. So that's another option.
Okay.
I have a question, though. Would that affect, because I believe that this was done through a grant, is there a certain deadline that the money has to be spent because it is a grant, or can we go ahead and prolong this and it's not going to affect the monies we're getting?
Yeah, we're not using any grant funding for this
Oh, okay.
project, so there's no deadline.
Thank you.
All right, anyone else have any further questions? All right, if not, thank you very much. Appreciate that. All right. All right, so at this point, we'll go ahead and open up the public communication. Anyone wishing to speak, please state your name. Have approximately 3 minutes. Good evening.
Good evening,
Good evening.
Mayor Pro Tem, members of the council, staff, and audience. My name is Don Sachs. I represent Mount San Antonio College, and I have an invitation to the council as well as residents of the city of Baldwin Park. Mount San Antonio College and trustees Laura Santos and Jay Chin, representing this district, will be hosting a public workshop on Wednesday, March 1st, at the Esther Snyder Community Center from 6:30 to 8 p.m. The purpose of this event is to solicit ideas and recommendations from the community in reference to the educational and facilities community plan. This plan will determine how best to serve the community in the next decade and beyond. It is actually more of a social event. We're not going to put people to work, but we'd like them to meet the trustees and share with the trustees their ideas of what the future holds for Mount San Antonio College. If further information is needed, they can go to the website mountsac.edu/EFMP. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Excellent job over at the college as well. All right, moving along with public communication.
Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, council members, staff, and residents of Baldwin Park. My name is Cristina Larios, and I'm the library manager here at the Baldwin Park Library. I wanted to share some information about some upcoming events and programs that we have going on in March and invite you all. Saturday, March 4th, we'll be having our Dr. Seuss birthday celebration for the children and families. We'll have a story time and a scavenger hunt. And March 7th, we will have our parent-child workshops. We invite all parents with children ages 0 to 3 to come, and it's a series of 5 weeks. We have different resource specialists from the community coming and speaking with the parents and their children. For teens, we have our cyber safety workshop coming up on March 9th. And we have our Teen Advisory Board, which has several members of the teenagers in our community that get together and share their ideas of programs that they want to see done in their library. Also on March 21st, we will be having a bullying prevention program for children ages 7 to 12. And we also invite everyone in celebration of Women's History Month. On Saturday, March 18th, we'll be having a mariachi performance with the female mariachi group La Victoria. That is Saturday, March 18th at 2 p.m. And lastly, I want to share we will be having a classical guitarist, Howard Lee, on Saturday, March 25th, also at 2 p.m. And for more information, you can come visit us or look at our website online. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. All right, moving on with public communication.
Good evening, Mayor Lozano, Mayor Pro Tem Rubio, Council Members Baca, Garcia, and Pacheco, Administration, and community members. I'm Veronica Lopez, field representative for Baldwin Park's very own Assemblywoman Blanca Rubio. I'm looking forward. I'm working with the community of Baldwin Park, a city that's very close to my heart and a city that I called home for over 35 years. Assemblywoman Rubio was appointed as chairwoman of Human Services and sits on several committees, including Budget and Public Safety, and was recently asked to join the Speaker Anthony Rendon's Blue Ribbon Commission on Early Education. Our office is located in West Covina and is ready to serve residents with any state-related issues they may have. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much. Congratulations. All right, moving on with public communication. Good evening.
Good evening, Mayor Lozano, council people, and ladies and gentlemen of the audience. We're here actually to give a quick update on what BPRAC has been up to. Just a quick history of what BPRAC is Baldwin Park Resident Advisory Committee, and we're a bipartisan volunteer group with nothing but residents. And we meet at least once a month, depending on what we're doing. And we're here to promote safety, health in our community. We'd like to inform you that we are going through some changes, as well due to the fact that CCPHA has also been going through some changes. This has been a result, we lost funding, so we're going on our own. Everything's volunteer for us. Oh. And we didn't, when they told us they lost funding, we decided as a group to stay together. After 11 years of work, we decided that we want to continue doing it on our own. We will still have the partnership with CCPHA, which now are public health advocates. And this is all because they have given us the experience of being leaders. This is all because of Rosa Soto, Cristina Cardenas, Belinda Campos, and everybody else at PHA. We're looking forward on working more with the city on our own. And out of this group, we've actually had commissioners, leaders in the migrant program as well as leaders in La Voz. There has been several leadership, as well as one of us is actually going back to school, who has been back to school. One of the projects that we're trying to continue with the city is our healthy selection program. I know that I think it was 2 years ago that they had the healthy corner store policy passed, and we would like to, get in contact with the person to continue our work with them. And these ladies actually have been really good, and they've been going to the the stores, and talking to the owners and telling them we're still around. We've just been going through some changes, and few of our goals have been still to work with the city, work with the council members, as well as school board. We have had a meeting with the superintendent. He's very excited about us working with them. And we would also like to expand to neighboring cities to share our experiences and our leadership to them. Thank you for your time, and we're looking forward to meeting with you later on and working. And our next meeting is February 22nd at 5:45 p.m.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. All right, move on with public communication. Thank you.
I would like a translator. I was talking Spanish, somebody that can reverse and do it in English.
Definitely. Who's available to do the translation? Oh, let me hear this.
Is usted? Mayor, there's somebody that...
Oh, yeah, that's fine. Thank you.
I am a certified interpreter.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Gracias.
Thank you. Muchas gracias.
¿Cómo quiere que lo haga?
Lo voy a hablar en español.
Okay.
¿Y usted lo tiene en inglés?
Claro que sí.
Okay.
I will be speaking in Spanish and then...
Can you speak into the mic? Into the mic. Thank you.
Okay.
Gracias.
Gracias.
Oh, here we go. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay. Buenas noches.
Good evening.
Una de las cosas que la última...
You want her to translate in English or in Spanish for you?
She's going to do it in English. I'm
Okay,
going to do it
okay,
in Spanish,
okay.
okay? Como estaba diciendo en
As
la
I
última
was saying,
junta,
in the last meeting,
les dije que
I
pues
told them that
usted era un rata,
you
okay?
are a rat in my eyes.
Okay. So, la comunidad
The
quería
community
saber,
wanted to know.
hay muchos gente aquí que
There are-
habla puro español, no
There are
hablan.
many people here
Okay.
that speak only Spanish, not English.
That's why por eso estoy haciendo en español.
This is why I'm doing this in Spanish.
Okay. Una de las cosas que me he estado fijando
One of the things that I've been noticing
es que usted, mayor,
is that you,
y el
Mayor,
señor Pacheco,
and Mr. Pacheco
no tienen respeto a la mujer.
do not have any respect for women.
Okay. Las cosas cuando la señora Rubio quería saber qué era donde se estaba yendo el dinero,
When Miss Rubio
es
wanted to
que,
know
pues,
where the
la
money was
pusieron-
going to,
la pusieron para abajo.
you put her down.
Okay. Y otra cosa que me he
Another
estado
thing
fijando,
that I've noticed
que la señora
is
Vaca,
that Miss Vaca,
cuando ella quiere algo,
when she
usted le
wants
dice
something,
cosas que no deben,
you say things
no
to her.
tienen respeto a la mujer.
You did not show respect to women.
Ni una mujer,
Not even
sea
a
lo
woman.
que sea,
Not,
no se le
not a
dice
woman.
que es una bitch.
She's not to be called a bitch.
¿Okay? Y son cosas que, como le dije
There
la
are
última
things like I
vez,
said the last time.
nosotros tenemos las pruebas. ¿Okay?
We have proofs of this, you know.
Y otra cosa es que,
Another
¿dónde
thing,
estamos sacando el dinero
where are we getting the money
para pagar por los
Sí.
abogados del señor Pacheco?
for the lawyers for Mr. Pacheco?
¿Okay? Otra cosa es por
Another
qué
thing is
él si va a
why
votar
is if he's going to vote
en una cosa, entonces
something,
ya que haber sido que él no puede votar.
he should be told that he cannot vote.
El abogado debe saber
The lawyer should know that.
que es against the brown egg. Okay? Otra cosa es que
Another thing is that
una cosa que también me he dado cuenta que
One of the things that
usted
I've noticed is that
tiene,
you,
¿cómo se dice? Una
how
cosa
should I say
que
this? Something is
el jefe de policía
the
del que
chief of
teníamos
police, the
antes,
one we had before,
okay, es güero, okay,
he is
está
white.
bien,
It's okay,
pero
but
no debe decir usted
you should not say
cosas contra él,
things
porque nomás
against
porque es
him
güero.
because he's white.
You know.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Muchas gracias. Thank
Que
you.
no agarro un poquito más tiempo.
Can I get some more time?
It's not allowed. It's 3 minutes.
No se permite.
3 minutes. Oh, you know what? Okay, go ahead. Go ahead with the translation. Go ahead with the translation.
Por,
Go
okay.
ahead.
Por la traducción vamos a tener más tiempo.
Go ahead.
Okay. No le permite. Are we allowed more time?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Vamos a seguir.
Okay.
For the translation.
So es lo que estamos mirando.
This is what we're looking at.
Porque usted,
Because
porque
you-
el señor no pudo hacer su puppet,
Because he could not do his puppet,
usted lo corrió.
you actually fired him.
Okay. Otra cosa que también la que era
something
policía, la jefe de
The
policía,
other chief
la
of
Lily,
police, that Lily,
también ustedes la corrieron,
you also
porque era
fired
mujer.
her because she was a woman.
you know. Y por eso lo estamos
And
dando
that's
cuenta
why
que ustedes no le
we've
tienen
noticed
respeto nada a la
That
mujer.
you have no respect for women whatsoever.
You know. Y esto es una cosa que
This
la
is
comunidad
something
está
that
mirando,
community is looking at.
you know, que no hay respeto, no hay
There's
respeto
no
ya
respect.
en todo el este,
There's no respect.
you know. So,
Okay, all right, we're
es
going to go.
bastante,
This is
ya
the
es
last one,
That's
but go ahead.
enough.
sí,
Yes.
no tenga cuidado,
Do
¿verdad?
not worry.
Next meeting we'll get you again.
All right, thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, moving along. And just to let everyone know, at the end I will explain. Quiero decirles al final, les voy a explicar sobre la conversación que esta persona está comentando en este momento. All right, so at this point, let's go ahead and move on. I did say it. Once everyone, the public speaking ends, I will definitely address this individual's statements up here. But go ahead. Yes.
Hi, good evening, Council and members of the Council and residents of Baldwin Park. I'm Irene Gomez. I'm actually a resident of El Monte, but I do charity work here in the city of Baldwin Park. I am the president of the Rockabilly Mafia Dolls. We are a vintage-inspired sisterhood that gives back to our community while keeping it classy. I've came tonight with my sisters to introduce ourselves. We do a lot of work in our community as far as working, feeding the homeless. We collect donations. We get involved with the community through social media. We come to events like this. We do vending events to raise money. We are open to the public, so if any of the women, we we uplift women. We're a support team for each other. A lot of us have history, and we need that general kind of sisterhood bond. So we come together and we empower each other, and in that we, give back. So, like for myself, I had joined because I thought it would be a good idea. I've been doing it now for this year will be my 4th year, and these ladies do it with me on a daily basis. This kind of became our life, basically. So we're constantly looking for members to work with nonprofits. We've worked with Foothill Unity Center with the food distributions. We feed the homeless in the riverbeds.
Oh, wow.
I know that's been an issue, having them down there, but still they're human and they do deserve food. We're not from a church. We're an organization that just empowers women. So that's basically, we just came to introduce ourselves and just put it out there. Do you guys want to say anything? All right. Well, good night. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Mayor?
Yes. Go ahead.
Could I ask you to please leave your information with the city clerk? I would like to contact you. We have a lot of groups here that also and I think if everybody sort of joins forces and works collectively, we can reach more people.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much for
Exactly.
doing that. But if you could give your information to the city clerk so that I can contact you.
Perfect.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Move along with public communication.
Good evening, Greg Tuttle, business owner. I've made some public requests here recently about the business assessment. I found out that allowing Lozano, Pacheco, and Garcia to get their hands into this fund, they've now put it in debt over $136,470. They now have on the consent calendar to go ahead and do the fireworks stand again, which will put us in more debt. We need to stop the bleeding. We need to get this fund back up again and spend it for businesses, not for the city's benefit. It doesn't prove to help any of the businesses. On the consent calendar also, you have a company that we kicked out over 2 years ago. These guys were the ones that did all the foreclosures on the house. The city most of the time got maybe $15,000 from these guys. The new code enforcement that was restructured and done with the help of Cruz Baca, Susan Rubio, they came in and were doing close to $89,000 in revenue. Now, this shows that we're keeping it in-house and making money. Your staff report shows the same thing. Bringing these people in is only for a political gain to get kickbacks from them. These guys serve no purpose for the community. Then we have the, I don't believe the DA made any clarification today, or the city attorney didn't make any clarification today as far as the charges on Ricardo Pacheco, whether they were against Cruz Baca or if they were conflict of interest. Also, we still are protesting that Mr. Pacheco voted for his own attorney fees, which is illegal to do. And if this is for the Cruz Baca deal, then Cruz Baca should be getting an attorney paid for to her, which we haven't heard anything on that. So we want to know what's going on, because that should have been discussed. Like as promised, the city attorney would bring us up to date on that. Now then, the thing with the new police chief. I had some conversation with him today. Nice gentleman and everything, but I don't really think he has a clue what he's getting his hands into here. And that is the politics. That is the demanding that the police chief do what you say, because we already ran into this with Hatzel, and Hatzel's gone, and Hatzel got in trouble and got this city in trouble with lawsuits because she was advancing police officers that shouldn't have been advanced. Sorry.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. All right, we're going to go ahead and move on to public communication. Thank you.
Buenas noches.
Buenas noches.
Mi nombre es Ligia Anderson y vivo en el 13441 Morgan Street. Desde hace 18 años soy residente en Baldwin Park. Primero que todo, quiero felicitar al señor alcalde por su regreso al college.
Gracias.
Para completar una maestría, según recuerdo, aunque me imagino que el costo de esta es muy alto, pero le deseo el éxito en su meta.
Gracias.
Tengo algunas preguntas para todos ustedes. La primera que quiero hacer es quién autorizó y por qué se cortó.
Oh yeah, are you going to be translate? Oh, she is. Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Thank you.
Next time. Gracias. ¿Quién autorizó primero y por qué se cortó la ceiba del parque, donde almorzaban los niños en tiempo de verano? Quisiera saber que alguien me diga cuál era la edad de esta ceiba. Y en este verano que se aproxima, ¿cómo se va a proteger a los niños del sol que comían en ese lugar? También quiero saber si se hizo un estudio de impacto ecológico antes de cortar esta centenaria ceiba. Y si se hizo, ¿dónde están los resultados? También quiero saber quién autorizó y por qué se están talando todos los árboles de Baldwin Park, especialmente todos los de la Ramona. Ya escuchamos la justificación que dio el señor Gutiérrez.
Sí.
Que realmente me dejaron más dudas que respuestas. También quiero saber si se hizo un estudio de impacto ecológico Y si es así, ¿dónde están los resultados? Pero estoy muy interesada en quién lo autorizó a él hacer esto. Él dice que es por algo de un arquitecto, no sé, y por cuestiones de hacer un nuevo riego, y que también porque algunos árboles son muy peligrosos y lo único que había que hacer era como sacarlos y acomodarlos nuevamente, según mi poco conocimiento en esa área. También, ¿por qué era tan necesario postear de luz o de alumbrado público toda la Ramona? ¿Por qué no simplemente se puso un poste cada 3 árboles? Son mis ideas. Muy miopes, tal vez porque no tengo experiencia y no tengo conocimiento en esa área. También quisiera preguntarle si es cierto que se está promoviendo que la ciudad de Baldwin Park se convierta en una ciudad santuario. Y si es así, porque hay rumores de que nuevamente se pondrán checkpoints en nuestra ciudad. Les invito a reflexionar si creen que los residentes de Baldwin Park lo vamos a permitir. No necesito ninguna respuesta ahora mismo, más bien con todo respeto, les solicito que publiquen todas las respuestas a mis preguntas en el periódico de Baldwin Park Now y en el periódico del Valle San Gabriel. Necesito traducción.
Jenny, go ahead and translate. Okay, gracias. Moment.
Good evening, Mayor and everyone. I'll be translating for my mom. So, my name is Ligia Anderson, and I live in 13441 Morgan Street, and I have been living in Baldwin Park for the past 18 years. First of all, I want to congratulate Mr. Mayor Lozano for his return in completing his master's program. Although I imagine the cause of this, I wish you the success in your goal. The second thing that I have some questions to Mr. Lozano and as well to Ms. Cruz Baca. First of all, who authorized and why was the trees cut down from the park, especially the one in where children were eating their lunch? And as well, myself, I participated in those lunch programs as a young child. In this, and as well, what was the age of this tree? And what was the necessity of cutting down this tree? I would like to know if there was a study behind done to know the ecological impact that it's going to cause for this incoming summer. And as well, if it was so necessary to be putting every light pole around that area, instead of putting at least one pole in each 3 trees in that area. And as well, is it true that you're promoting that the city of Baldwin Park will become a sanctuary city? And if so, because there are rumors that there's going to be checkpoints in our city. If you believe that this is going to happen, don't think of it so much, because the residents of Baldwin Park will not allow it. I do not need any answers right now. I rather and respectfully request that you publish them in the Baldwin Park Now newspaper and as well in the San Gabriel Valley newspaper. Good night.
All right, thank you. Buenas noches. All right, move on with public communication. Oh, it's our city clerk, Maria Contreras.
Oh, she's going to talk. Hi, good evening, everyone.
Oh, city treasurer. Sorry about that. Sorry about Ms. Avila over here.
Buenas noches a todos. I just want to let you guys know that on February 27th, the Valley County Water will be conducting their meeting here at the Arc Center. It's a Monday, and it will be at 5:30. And they will be also recognizing the past director, Alfonso Contreras, for the service in our community. So you are all invited. Los quería invitar al 27 de febrero. La Compañía del Agua va a tener su junta aquí en el Art Center y también van a celebrar y agradecer al director que acaba de salir de Valley County Water y por todo su servicio en la comunidad. Gracias.
Thank you. What time? 5:30. Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening, everybody. Mayor Lozano, looks like you don't give me nothing because I got back the letter already.
Okay.
You don't solve any problems on my property. And I got it stolen yesterday, and you said take care of everything. I'm removing everything. And I got a report from the police too. I don't know what can I do now. And you don't pay nothing. And I thought it was a good idea to give you the papers and solve my problem, but you're not doing nothing to me good. I'm trying to be a good citizen. Baldwin Park report everything I see in the city: trash, graffiti, prostitution, drugs. But it looks like I don't want to do that no more because you help me nothing. I don't know this. What can I do now?
Okay.
And there is no. I got hurt yesterday. My foot almost got off because I had to pay. I had to go up at the roof and take it off everything. It's a pretty hard roof. That roof is sitting there for almost 15 years. So I don't know why you want me to remove it. 10 more years and I have to get rid of my property. And that's it.
All right, thank you. What I'll do is, if it needs more time, who's handling this? From Code Enforcement, Chief? If it requires additional time, let's work with them in that area. I know it's not conforming, but whatever we need to do, just for, all right, thank you, Chief, appreciate that. All right, at this point, moving on, good evening.
Hi, good evening. My name is Marcela Hernandez. I've been living here in Baldwin Park since 10 years old. I'm undocumented. I'm part of the Immigrant Youth Coalition. That's part of the Eyesight of California Coalition. And for years, we've been advocating against detentions and deportations in California. So today I'm here, right, because I have a lot of family here as well. That's mixed status, residents, and undocumented. And I came to notice the sanctuary policy that you all are introducing today. So as I do see some good things here, I still have a lot of questions about some of the details, because it's really in the details that we are going to be able to not allow Baldwin Park City to participate in Trump's deportations. So in Section 2, number 2, I guess one of my questions is, as you're not allowing detainers and also notifications of releases, I'm wondering if you know that when ICE wants to go into our jail, if they're going to be allowed in, or if they're going to have any judicial warrant to be able to go and talk to a person, or are they going to be allowed to do interviews? So that's one of my questions, to make sure that ICE doesn't have any access to our jails. Also, the other question that I had is that we do have a contract with GEO, and just to remind you all, GEO is one of the multi-billion corporations that owns most of the immigrant detention centers in the U.S. So I'm very worried that this company that's making billions of money detaining our community is the one actually running some of the administration in our police department. And how do we know they're not going to release any information when it is in their best interest to get money from detaining our community? So I also want to make sure that that's addressed with the police department. And another thing as well is that actually recently my mom told me that there was a family stopped in front of our house, right? And that it seemed that they didn't speak Spanish, so I went out there to try to translate. It turns out this family, it was a pregnant mother, 2 little children, and a father, and they were stopped. The mother had a permit to drive, but the father didn't. So the police was like, well, I have to impound your car. So he took down the pregnant, and they were going to the hospital for a check-in, and she was feeling really bad. So they took them down out of the car, and I told them, how come you don't allow them to call somebody to pick up their car, or I can drive their car because I have a driver's license? And he said, no, I'm just implementing the law, and they have to get out of the car. So, and I told him, well, I know that in LA there's a policy where you can actually call somebody to pick up your car. He said, well, this is Baldwin Park, so it doesn't count here. So for me, that was really painful to see that a mother that was pregnant was being taken down of her car, 2 little children, and the father. So I'm just wondering what you're going to do regarding impoundments, because I think that's still an issue that is really affecting our community.
Thank you.
So if you can address those questions.
And we're going to move into that area to address it further.
Mayor,
Yes.
I wanted to let her know. I do want to let you know that this is going to be addressed when item 6 is going to be, it's part of the agenda.
Yes.
And we will be addressing this when we do get to the agenda. I can't answer your questions right now. I will pull item 6, and we are going to be discussing it, and it will be discussed further. Quiero decirles que lo que dice la muchacha es el número 6 en la agenda. Sí vamos a discutir eso con más detalle, pero cuando lleguemos a esa parte de la agenda. Ahorita nomás es para los comentarios públicos, disculpen.
Traducir en español lo que dijo la señorita, por favor, porque somos...
Oh, I hear what you're saying. You know what? Okay, do you have it in writing?
I have.
Oh, you do? Okay, go ahead. Thank you. Thank you for bringing that up. Go ahead.
Yes.
No, this is it. Once this is out, it's closed off. We're definitely, this is gonna be positive what we're doing though.
And no, but please
Come up
stay
now.
because there will be a chance to discuss this later. Please say whatever you need to say in your 3 minutes or 4 if you're going to need a translator. But when we pull item 6, there will be a discussion about everything that's being addressed right now. Please be patient with us. We have to let you talk first.
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Go for it.
Good evening. My name is Rosie Rios, and I am a Baldwin Park resident. I live in 13175 East Emory Avenue.
Thank you.
And so I'm also looking at the resolution regarding declaring our city a sanctuary city, and I'm looking at Section 2, number 3, regarding discretion in policing. And so in regards to guiding officers in continuing to exercise discretion in determining whether to cite or to release the individuals. My question is whether these individuals, prior to receiving those citations, will there be any diversion programs, or will they be referred to any type of, will they be giving a referral list to any other kind of programs that they can have available to them as resources? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, anyone else?
Una pregunta, este es public speaking para todas las puntos de la agenda.
Correcto.
Sí, porque yo tengo el punto de lo de la ciudad santuario. Fue muy difícil encontrar, no sé si pueden hacer update su página de la internet.
Okay.
Fue muy difícil para mí y para otras personas encontrar la nueva resolución que iban a arreglar. Entonces, esto hace más complicado para nosotros. Sepamos qué es lo que está.
Un momento, let's just translate for everyone.
Yes.
But just to let you know, Beatriz,
si quiere,
we're
yo
voting on it tonight. Yeah.
Yes. I am pulling it for discussion.
Okay, we're going to discuss it.
All the questions have been thrown at me already. So
Okay.
I'm prepared.
And then it will definitely be updated once we go through the whole discussion. But if you could translate. Oh, thank you. The other person? Okay, está bien. That's fine.
Right.
All right.
Can we hear both? Okay. So like maybe she could speak. Okay. We'll give you more time. Okay. Thank you.
Put the mic.
Mi petición es que hagan esos release o esas formas que están escritas, las hagan update.
Absolutely.
Y que tengan que estar, yo sé que tienen que estar 48 o 72 horas antes en la agenda, y no es nada más necesitamos leer la agenda, también necesitamos leer los documentos que aparecen ahí.
¿Me perdona un momento, por favor? Para clarificar, las personas que necesitan que traduzcan, si pueden hablar en porciones para que la señora que esté traduciendo pueda traducir lo que ustedes están hablando para que no se le vaya olvidando. Poquito a poquito, por favor, gracias. Y lo mismo es en inglés.
Entonces, solamente, dígalo en frases más cortas.
Lo que usted dijo, lo que usted escuchó está bien.
Ok, pero dígalo de nuevo, por favor.
Bueno, mi petición es que los documentos
My
que
petition is that documents that
ponen en la agenda
you have on the agenda,
estén listos para que nosotros los podamos leer
let
y
them be ready
entender
for us to read and understand them
antes de que podamos estar aquí en esta reunión.
before we make it to this meeting.
No solamente nosotros necesitamos educarnos, sino
Not
también
only-
necesitamos educar a nuestro pueblo.
Not only do we ourselves need to be educated, but our community needs to be educated as well.
Supongo que todavía lo de la ciudad santuario lo vamos a hablar más adelante. Voy a tener otra oportunidad.
I suppose that you will be talking about the sanctuary city later on tonight, but I have another chance tonight.
No, todo está aquí.
Okay. Solamente quiero agradecer sus esfuerzos
I want to thank you for your efforts
por hacer esta una ciudad segura para nuestra comunidad.
to make this a city that is a secure city for our community, a safe city.
Y quiero pedirles que esto que se está firmando ahora
I want to ask that whatever we're signing today,
sea por el tiempo que sea necesario para que nuestras familias se sientan seguras.
that it be done for the necessary time so that our families can feel safe.
También quiero pedir que esta resolución, sé que en la agenda está, que la policía, el departamento de policía es parte de esta resolución.
I want that this, the way it is, that the police department be a part of this resolution.
Y queremos que sepan ustedes y queremos que ustedes también estén muy alertas de que vamos a estar siempre revisando qué es lo que está haciendo el departamento de policía con nuestra comunidad.
Please know that we will be always mindful of what the police department is doing for our community.
Y gracias por esa resolución y
Thank
espero
you.
que esto dé un poco de unidad a este concilio.
Thank you for this resolution. I hope this brings unity to this council.
All right, thank you. Gracias. All right, anyone else?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and members of the council. My name is Rafael Rios. I'm one of the pastors that serve in the United Methodist Church here at Main 3970. And the reason I'm here is because I want to, in a way, say that I'm very excited about the step that you have taken towards making the city a sanctuary. There's a lot of work that is coming forward in implementing this project. And for that reason, I have a couple of questions and suggestions that I like to do. First of all, I have a question. Why is missing here section 3 and 4 in your resolution? It goes from 2 to 5 to... Yeah.
Okay.
So we're missing two sections there. I don't know if it's,
that was a typo. We have revised.
Oh, okay. Well, so the other concern is that there's going to be a lot of training, as you said in the resolution, and a lot of work to come. And I think that in the part of oversighting this work, the community needs to be involved. So I propose that you create a commission where leaders of the community are part of that committee that will be oversighting that the things that we are talking about are going to be done the way they had to be. That's all I had to say.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you. All right, at this point, anyone else wishing to speak?
Hi, Father Mike Gutierrez, pastor St. John the Baptist Church. First of all, I want to recognize what you're doing tonight, doing this move on sanctuary, which is really needed, especially after hearing what's happened today in our neighboring city of South El Monte. And for us in the community, especially our churches and people who I'm working with, my colleagues in the Methodist Church who work with us so greatly and the other congregations here do have undocumented congregants, it's really important to hear a city council make it very clear their intention. And even I agree with my colleague about oversight. I do agree with you. There has to be a good oversight on this and a good cooperation, especially with law enforcement. And one of the things I see moving forward also on this is that there is a sense of a community trying to come together now. And I think my colleague said it so right, is we do need to pull together on this. This is affecting our community. Our people need to know there's trust in this room, trust outside this room, and we're working that way. So tonight, as you pull it all together, I know my co-religion brothers and sisters will work with you. This community will work with you. Let's make it happen. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, brother. Hi, good evening.
Hello, my name is Kevin. I'm also part of the Immigrant Youth Coalition for the San Gabriel Valley chapter. On talking about oversight, I want to make sure that we have a clear understanding of what it means to ensure that policies are implemented. And not only that, but then what are the accountabilities for those who break the policies or don't follow the policies, and the consequences that way no one else follows those paths of like breaking the policies. A second thing I want to mention is that I want to invite folks, especially youth, to a Youth Empowerment Summit that we're having next Saturday in Lincoln Heights. And we're basically going to have Know Your Rights workshops, how can youth organize in their communities, or how can community members that defend themselves from deportations, and among various other workshops, cultural, environmental, and so on. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
How you guys doing today?
Thank you. Good evening.
Hi, Cruz. Hi everyone. Some of you guys already know me. I'm with No Limit Softball, which is a girls travel team here in Baldwin Park. Everyone's always talking about coming together. I've tried to reach out to you, Mr. Lozano, Manny Carrillo, in regards to getting a field. Now, like I mentioned before, we don't charge the kids, so it's a nonprofit. And I mean, you guys have, said, let's help you guys out. It's a good thing what you're doing, so on and so on. But basically, every call that I get back is the same information that I got when I initially went to the park. So I mean, as far as the city trying to help out the kids from the community, I really don't see it. I wish that you guys would put more effort into the community, especially when we're talking about trying to develop the kids, get them ready for high school. And, you guys know that I try to emphasize and make sure the girls get back to the community. That I'll help out whoever I can, when I can. I was supposed to be here earlier, but as you guys know, it's hard for us to have a field. We were practicing in West Covina. The city came out, said we need permits, blah, 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 so I had to go out there and take care of that. I don't know how much more I can keep asking you guys. What can I do on my end so I can get a little support for the girls in the community? Like I mentioned before, it's low income. The kids don't really have much. Half of the kids live with the mom, single moms. Some of the kids live with the grandparents. We really depend on donations. We've had some of the people from the board help us out. We've had people from the school board help us out. But we just need more of the city, as a whole, to help us to keep this going. And I guess I'm running out of time, but we really look up to you guys to help us out. Not just me, football, soccer, all the kids. And I just wish you guys would just put whatever differences you have, come together, and try to do what's right for the community. And that's it.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. Monica.
Hello, my name is Lucy Boutte. I live at 3439 Benwig here in Baldwin Park. I've been a resident for many, many years and a member of St. John the Baptist for many years. I work with the LA Catholic Archdiocese, and I'm on the commission for the Life, Justice, and Peace for the Archdiocese. And through that commission, we're doing a lot of work with undocumented, but for the entire community, trying to educate people and create a culture of encounter where people come to get to know each other, and some who do have documents and are able, have the capacity to assist, to help those that are suffering right now. I'm sure you can imagine the fear that's involved not only in the parents who may be deported, but in the children. And it's far-reaching, far-reaching. Today in El Monte, South El Monte, there were some raids with ICE and the police department. Later on, the police were on Durfee and near the freeway. They were stopping cars for no reason, just doing some checks. So people are fearful. At the Epiphany in El Monte, they called most of the people the way they could, as far as they could, and told them not to come to any meetings, any prayer, nothing, because they were afraid that the people would be accosted. So I urge you to continue to do what you need to do as far as the sanctuary city, but not just on paper and not just a blank statement, but rather put some heart into it. I agree with the gentleman here and with Father Mike about the oversight, which I don't really consider it oversight, but input. You need the people who are affected to be there at the table to make those decisions and suggestions of what it is that we need in order to protect our families and our community. I encourage you also to continue to partner with us, because it's something that's not going to be done alone. The city can't do it alone. The church can't do it alone. It's going to be a community effort, and I think it's an opportunity for us to really reach out and be as humane and human as possible. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lucy.
Buenas noches. Mi nombre es Ángel Ochoa. Vengo representando a mujeres y vecinos de Baldwin Park.
My name is Angela Ochoa, and I am representing the neighborhoods in Baldwin Park, women in Baldwin Park.
Es sobre la resolución sobre declarar ciudad santuario a Baldwin Park.
This is regarding the sanctuary city, the declaration.
En la sección 2, inciso 1.
In section 2, point 1.
Donde se habla sobre la información.
When we're talking about the information.
¿Cómo se va a implementar la protección de esta información?
How will this be implemented, this information?
En cada departamento.
In every department.
¿Y cuánto tiempo se va a dar a cada departamento, como es salud, el distrito y el departamento de policía?
How much time will it be given to each department, the health department, the police department?
Para que se entregue su plan de protección.
So they can each turn in their protection plan.
Gracias.
Thank you.
All right, anyone else? ¿Nadie más quiere hablar?
Hi, good evening, council members. My name is Claudia Bautista. I work with the National Day Labor Organizing Network. We are part of the Eyes Out of LA Coalition and the Eyes Out of California Coalition. And I am here in support of some community groups that asked us to review the sanctuary policy that is being proposed and to use some of the conversations that we've been having at the county level and at the state level to understand a little bit more of what this policy is really trying to do. Again, the National Day Labor Organizing Network represents different organizations throughout the country that do work for day laborers, the people that stand on corners to do work, and through that we got into immigration work because those people are majority undocumented, and that's why we're supporting this. So just a few points. I wanted to echo what Kevin had mentioned earlier about accountability and how important that is. I think a policy is great, but if there's no actual accountability and implementation plan, it makes it really hard for it to actually be followed. We actually know, we heard of a case here in Baldwin Park of Sergio. I can't remember his last name right now, but he was actually apprehended by the Baldwin Police Department about 2 years ago for a transit infraction, and then he ended up being held an extra time, and which was a violation of the Trust Act. So it's really concerning to us that if there's a policy being put forward and there's no actual implementation and oversight plan, like that's concerning in terms of making sure that this has actual teeth. And then on top of that, I wanted to actually ask for the City Council and the mayor to support the California Values Act, which is currently right now going through the Senate at the state level. Pro Tem de Leon has actually introduced the bill, and it includes some of these protections that are part of this sanctuary policy, such as not using any types of resources, facilities, money from any of the departments, including schools and medical programs in the city, to make sure that this information isn't being sent to ICE so that they can go after people and stuff like that. So it has specific things that are already reflected in the policy today, but go a little bit further. And I think it's one of the ones that goes as far as possible on our side on the pro-immigrant side. So if I could speak with someone about maybe sending in a letter of support, given that the city of Baldwin Park seems to be worried about its population. So just let me know how that would be done. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right. All right. Anyone else wishing to speak? Nadie más? All right. Oh, we have one more gentleman.
Hello. Okay. Good
noches.
evening, Mayor, Councilman.
Pleasure.
I hear a lot about the sanctuary cities, and so this is new to me. So maybe you can inform the residents of what's going on, if you plan to have it or not. But just inform the residents on what's going on. So that's basically it.
All right. Thank you. We'll be
All
talking
right.
about it.
All
Thank
right,
you.
thanks.
Thank you very much. All right. At this point, anyone else wishing to speak under public communication? ¿Nadie más quiere hablar? Esta es la última vez que pueden hablar. All right, so this ends the public communication. Let me, first of all, say I just want to cover what this gentleman named Mr. Rios came up here. And I'm going to be very brief. It was brought up about working together, and that's what we're doing. We need to make 2017 a very important opportunity. This gentleman came up here and is allowed by the Constitution, the First Amendment right, allows you to say anything. You could come up here and outright lie, make up a story, and we have no other recourse whatsoever to defend ourselves, because that's what the Constitution allows the individual. This person is an expert at that particular area. Quiero primeramente decirles, la persona que habló, que se llama Ríos, que está aquí enfrente, habló sobre varios temas. Le voy a decir ahorita, la Constitución de los Estados Unidos, how do you say First Amendment in Spanish? El primer amendo permite cualquier persona que hable aquí públicamente y fabrica la información que, aunque sea fabricada. Nosotros como políticos no tenemos ningunos recursos para defendernos sobre lo que dijo esta persona, que es una persona especialista que especializa en ese tema, desafortunadamente, y es todo lo que va a decir esta persona. Let me also make clear over the vote, you mentioned about women, and I'm kind of concerned of what you said about the profanity that you used here, because you obviously have no respect. The woman that you're talking about, the police chief woman, is the person that I personally recruited, and it was voted on. Now, the termination of that woman was Councilmember Cruz Baca, Councilmember Susan Rubio, and Councilmember Ricardo Pacheco, just so that you get your facts straight. Second, the termination of the police chief that just left, the vote was Mayor Pro Tem Monica Garcia, Councilmember Susan Rubio, and myself. Those are the ones that did that, just so you get the record straight. Quiero primeramente decirles sobre el comentario que dijo él sobre las mujeres y un hombre que mencionó una mala palabra. Ella fue la jefa de policía en la primera en la historia, y yo fui la persona que la escogí para que nosotros votáramos para ella. Ella fue despedida porque los permite así los códigos de la ciudad. Las personas que la despidieron, para que sepa esta persona, porque es una persona que siempre fabrica información, la que la despidieron a ella fue la consejera Councilmember Cruz Baca, Councilmember Susan Rubio y el consejero Ricardo Pacheco. La ley ordenanza los permite, así es como se trabaja en la ciudad. persona que fue el jefe de policía que fue despedido hace poco. Las personas que votaron para despedir a esta persona fui yo, y fue hasta la vicealcalde en ese tiempo, Mónica García, y también el concejal Susan Rubio. Así es como fue, nomás para que ustedes sepan. Pero la Constitución lo deja a esta persona que diga lo que diga, y aunque no sea verdad, nosotros no tenemos ningún recurso contra la persona. So I just want to make sure that that's clear on the record at this point. So at this point, let's go into the sanctuary city. So we're going to go. Yes, go
Mayor,
ahead.
just one thing, because I know that Jesse from the softball got up, and he's been
Jesse.
asking. I want to ask staff before we move
Yes,
on.
Maria.
I want to ask staff, Maria, I know you're here, or see who could help him.
Yes.
And see how we can have a little bit of a meeting and see if we can find some field. This is a wonderful program. The girls volunteer a lot of hours here in our community with different programs. So I would really like, this is a great program for a lot of our kids. So
And
if you can help them, if you please.
Yeah, and I just want to say, I know you used Sire Park for a bit, right? The unincorporated. The factor came is the bill for the lights, which is astronomical. But let's see what we can do. And Maria, let's follow up and bring it back to the city council so that we could at least have them here and hear what potential, if any, are available. At this point, Councilmember Monica Garcia.
Thank you. I also wanted to recommend to the gentleman, I think your name is Jesse. I'm sorry I missed your name. I stepped away. But we do have a 4th of July program, and you may want to inquire
That's right.
on the fundraising aspect of that, with the stand and the fireworks. And so you did. Good. Okay, great. So the 4th of July celebration is an annual event that has been going on here in this community for years, and a big piece of that is the fundraising that our athletic programs benefit from. So I'm glad that you're pursuing that. I wanted to recommend that.
Cool. So you're on your way this time. All right, brother. Thank you.
Mayor, I also wanted to mention to the woman that got up to speak, she's from Almani, and she's engaging in the homeless work along the San Gabriel Valley River. I wanted to mention to you that United Way has an RFP process every 2 years, and this year that is coming up. So please look at United Way's website, and please, pursue any grant opportunities that they may have available. And their focus is homelessness. They have been, at the forefront of Prop H. So as long as I think you highlight that work, I think that it will bode well for your organization. I also wanted to encourage you to speak with Susie Ruelas in the back here. Susie, you want to raise your hand? There you go. She is our housing director and administers the Community Development Block Grant, CDBG funds. And so you may want to talk with her about that being an opportunity for the organization as well. Thank you.
Okay, real quick also, something that was mentioning about Councilmember Ricardo Pacheco and the District Attorney's Office, just to let everyone know that it is a civil matter. That means that the state of California mandates that he is provided with legal counsel. Just want to let everyone know. It was also mentioned about Councilmember Cruz Baca. If she submits in writing to the city, then she will also be assisted with legal counsel as well. But just a reminder that Ricardo's case is a civil matter. We are mandated by law. There is absolute no choice. Sobre el asunto de la Procuraduría del Condado de Los Ángeles y Ricardo Pacheco, ese asunto es algo civil y que la ley del Estado de California impide a nosotros que tenemos que how do you say, tenemos que nosotros, how do you say provide? Provide. ¿Ah? Okay, el abogado, tenemos que nosotros permitirle un abogado. Si la consejera Cruz Baca quiere un abogado también, entonces se permite a los dos, porque este caso es civil. Desafortunadamente, diferentes personas con diferentes campañas fabrican sus historias. And that's it. So let's go into the...
Excuse me,
yes,
Mayor.
Go ahead.
I need to clarify that Ricardo Pacheco did not hand in his request in writing. It was verbal. So I just need to clarify that you said that I have to hand in a written when he handed in his request verbal.
Was that verbal publicly, or was that?
No, Mayor, it was done in writing. I did submit it in writing in this particular case.
Okay, you
but
did.
The case is civil. I can't really address it too much, according to my attorney. But, it's typical that all the different council here are provided with attorneys, and we have lawsuits that go against city council members, and we all provided attorneys. So in the case of Chief Lily Household, who sued the city, all councils are represented by attorneys. So in different cases, it's not unusual that we're represented. So there was some misinformation given about that. I just want to clarify that issue. Thank you, Mayor.
All right, thank you. All right, so at this point, let's go into the agenda, and we're also going to concurrently open the Finance and the Housing Authority with this. So the first item, I'm going to actually pull what are the housing? Council members wishing to pull any item at this point?
Yes. I'll pull 11.
Okay, which one, council member?
I will pull 11.
Okay, 11.
And I would like to pull 6, 7, and 8. Hold on one second.
All righty. I'm going to pull where's the housing then?
It's not on consent.
Oh, got it.
Oh.
Got it.
It's
All
not on
right.
consent calendar.
Right.
So I'm pulling 6, 7, and 8 of the
Got it.
consent calendar.
And then Councilman Susan Rubio is pulling out items number 8. So at this point, I will move for a motion of
I said
consent.
11.
What's that? Yeah, I got that one. Okay, so at this point, I'd like to move consent calendars with the exception of items number 6, 7, 8, and 11. That is my motion.
I'll second it.
Second, any objections? Seeing none, so move. All right, so the first one, the approve and adopt a resolution of the city of Baldwin Parks declaring itself as a sanctuary city. So at this point, I will give it over to Councilmember Cruz Baca. If we could have silence out in the audience, please, so that everyone's able to hear. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yes, and first of all, I want to thank everyone for the participation. Do I have a translator o quieren que hable en español?
You know what? Yeah, you should.
I have to do it both for the
You know what? Real quick, hold on. Do you have enough of your?
Oh, they don't.
Oh, they don't?
No. Alejandra, is it
How many of those do you have?
Like you say it down there, or say it here.
25? Okay, do you have 25 available?
If she just pauses, it makes
Do you have 25 available now?
She says but she says she can, you can say it and she can translate at the same time, so you don't have to think.
Okay, I can say it in Spanish if you want, and you can translate it into English for
Your
me,
Spanish
please.
is perfect.
Okay, thank you. Pardon me?
Your Spanish is perfect. so
No,
go ahead.
it's just that it's easier because the larger
Yeah.
crowd speaks Spanish.
Okay.
I'm sorry. No, that's okay.
All righty. Okay,
Pero
atención.
quiero darles a todos las muchísimas gracias por estar aquí esta noche. Alejandra, la city clerk, me va a traducir en inglés para los que no hablen español.
I want to thank everybody that's here tonight. I will be translating for those of you that don't speak Spanish.
Pero quiero decirles que esto es muy importante para todos nosotros. Eso sí es algo que todos quedamos de acuerdo de aprobar esta resolución.
I want you to know that this is very important for all of us. This is something that we were all in agreement to approve this resolution.
Pero yo entiendo que sí se necesitan de hacer cambios en la resolución porque ha habido muchas preguntas, no nomás ahora en la noche, pero las llamadas que me han llegado a mí.
However, I do understand that we do need to make some changes on this resolution based on the phone calls that I have received.
Quiero decirles que vamos a tener, y yo sé que el pastor Rafael dijo que quieren un comité, pero ya estamos hablando de eso. El 23 de febrero vamos a tener una junta. On February the 23rd, I know that there was a lot of talk about a committee. And so on February the 23rd, we're going to have a meeting of leaders. Sorry, Alejandra. Va a ser en el Community Center, en el Parque Morgan, y vamos a invitar a los líderes y también a los diferentes miembros de la policía.
At Morgan Park, we will invite all the community members and the police department.
No, the leaders of the community.
The leaders of the police department,
Yes,
sorry.
at the community center. Pero vamos también a invitar a los elegidos como la representante de la congresista Napolitano.
We will also invite the representative of Mrs. Napolitano.
También la elegida nueva de representante de Blanca Rubio, la asemblista.
The new Assemblywoman Blanca Rubio's representative will also be invited.
y vamos a invitar a otros elegidos de las ciudades alrededor.
And we will invite other elected officials from the surrounding cities.
Nosotros sabemos que esto es muy importante. Ahora en la noche vamos a pasar esta resolución, aunque yo sé que tienen que haber cambios.
We know this is very important. Tonight we will approve this resolution, although we know there needs to be changes.
Y también queremos mirar qué es lo que se va a necesitar para el apoyo de la policía, las iglesias, las organizaciones y también nosotros de elegidos.
We also need to look into what we are going to need to support the police department, the churches, and all the organizations.
Yo anoche fui a hablar en el distrito con la mesa directora escolar.
Last night I went to speak at the school board meeting.
Y les pedí por favor que ellos también nos apoyen en esto.
And I asked them to also support us in this.
Es muy importante que todos entiendan que todos queremos trabajar juntos para poder resolver estos problemas.
It is very important that you know that we all need to work together to resolve this problem.
Quiero también decirles que yo sé que está pasando una ley estatal de Kevin de León.
I also want you to know that we know there's a state law by Kevin Leon that's being passed.
Y cuando termine yo le voy a pasar el micrófono al abogado Robert Tafoya.
And when I am done, I will hand over the microphone to our attorney, Mr. Tafoya.
Para que él también les explique qué es lo que estamos o lo que está estatal discutiendo de esto de tener todo el estado santuario.
So he can explain what the state is doing to make sure that the whole state is a sanctuary.
Pero quiero que sepan, por favor, y es muy importante que nosotros les queremos trabajar con ustedes y apoyarlos. Estos cambios.
But I want you to know that it's very important that we want to work with you with these changes.
Y también con el departamento de policía porque sabemos que es muy importante.
And we also want to work with the police department because we know it's very important.
Y la señora que se paró a hablar, que dijo que iba a haber retenes, no sé dónde escuchó la señora eso, pero no es cierto.
The lady that spoke and said that there was going to be checkpoints, I don't know where she heard that, but that is not true.
Nosotros estamos trabajando todos juntos y queremos, por favor, que también nos ayuden y que con paciencia, porque esto no va a pasar de un día al otro.
We are all working together, and I want you to be patient because this is not going to happen from one day to the other.
Y también tenemos que estar al tanto de todos los cambios que está haciendo el presidente nuevo, porque todo está cambiando, si no día por día, hora por hora.
And we also need to be up to date of all the changes that the president is making, not on a daily basis, but hour by hour.
So, le voy a pasar el micrófono al abogado Robert Tafoya para que él explique de la ley estatal.
Mr. Tafoya will explain the state law.
Thank you, Councilmember Baca. Councilmember Baca had asked me to get some information related to a new Senate bill that relates to making California a sanctuary state. So instead of each city having to make itself a sanctuary city,
Robert, she needs to translate.
La consejera Baca me pidió que recibiera información de qué está haciendo el estado para hacer al todo estado un estado santuario en vez de que cada ciudad sea una ciudad santuaria.
It's called the California Values Act.
Se llama el Acto de Valores de California.
And it's numbered Senate Bill 54. So if you want to contact your senator to support Senate Bill 54, you should do that.
Es el Bill 54 y si gusta comunicarse con el senador de su área lo puede hacer.
As I said, this Senate bill would make the state of California a sanctuary state.
Como dije, este bill haría al estado de California un estado santuario.
This Senate bill was introduced and read for the first time on December 5, 2016.
Este bill fue introducido el 5 de diciembre de 2016.
So the process has already started at the state level.
Así que el proceso ha comenzado en el estado.
There was a hearing before the Senate Appropriations Committee for Senate Bill 54 on January 31, 2017.
Hubo una corte para este bill el 31 de enero del 17.
The Senate Appropriations Committee passed the bill out of committee by a 5-2 vote.
El comité del Senado pasó este bill con un voto de 5-2.
That's the first hurdle, and that was passed.
Esto fue el primer paso y lo pasaron.
Senate Bill 54 has yet to go before the full Senate.
El bill 54 todavía tiene que ser presentado a todo el Senado.
No date is set for a full hearing before the state Senate.
Todavía no se tiene una fecha para presentar este bill para todo el Senado.
If you would like to see the Senate set a hearing, you should call your state senator and ask them to set a hearing on Senate Bill 54.
Si necesitan saber cuál será la fecha, comuníquense con sus senadores para que ustedes les pidan que den una fecha para que aprueben este bill.
If it goes to the full floor of the Senate,
si esto se va completamente al Senado
and it's passed,
y pasa,
it will then go on to some other process, but essentially it would be passed in the state Senate.
entonces se irá a otro proceso, pero eventualmente se irá al Senado.
That's all the information we have about Senate Bill 54 right now.
Por lo pronto es toda la información que tenemos sobre el Bill 54.
Y quiero que sepan que estamos aquí respuestos para algunas preguntas o para ayudarles. Comunicación es muy importante.
I want you to know that we're here to answer any questions that you may have. It's very important to have open communication.
Y si tienen algo que quisieran que también nosotros escuchemos, quiero por favor que les digan a los líderes de su comunidad o de sus iglesias o las organizaciones para que ellos nos digan a nosotros y podamos trabajar juntos. Muchas gracias.
If there is something else that you would like for us to hear, you can communicate it to your leaders in your community, your church communities, or any other community members.
Yes, Councilman Ricardo Pacheco.
You done? Councilwoman? Okay, thank you. Okay. First, I just want to thank all the churches that are here, the Methodist Church, St. John's, all those that have come out to show support for the cities, sanctuary cities. And I know with the current Trump administration trying to criminalize and demonize immigrants in our community, and I think we need to join together to make sure that we in this city protect all of our immigrants and protect our community, because it impacts all of us, not just the immigrants. It impacts the family, the friends, to see this injustice that is occurring in our community. And I just want to show that through our support of this, that number one, we respect the immigration community in our city, in our state, that make sure that our children are safe in the schools that we have and that they don't have anything to fear. When working mothers and fathers are coming and going from work, want to make sure that they feel secure, that they're not going to be stopped or pulled over or dragged to jail because of immigration issues or documentations that they need to take care of, and that there's other ways that I think our federal government could address those issues. I want to make sure that our families are secure when they go to church or when they go to parks, wherever they are. I want to make sure that they all feel safe. So with that, we're going to work with our local police department, with our city staff, to make sure that they're trained, to make sure that they have followed the policies that this city would like to have, so that these kinds of issues don't occur within our community. But I want to propose at the same time that the city collaborate and work with either an individual or a nonprofit, maybe somebody we hire, or a nonprofit that would be a community advocate, so that it's a place to go, that if there's issues or an immigrant wants to know their rights, there's a place they could go and get that information. I know right now we're having a lot of workshops in the community that are occurring, but I want to make sure that we have a place to go, that we know an immigrant can go there and really get the right resources and the right information and the right help to be able to address those issues. So those are a workshop is something that I want to bring back to the City Council, to work with my council colleagues, to work for an advocacy center that we would have here, either through a nonprofit or an individual that would help us. Kind of looking at the same framework in the way that the City Valley is doing it, but I think we're going to work more with a nonprofit, and we'll take a look at that as we go along. So with that, again, I want to thank all of you, and I'll support this issue. Thank you, this resolution.
I just want to piggyback, y eso precisamente, por eso vamos a tener la Junta el 23 de febrero, para empezar para que la gente tenga información de qué es el número que pueden llamar, con quién se pueden comunicar. Por eso mismo vamos a empezar el 23 de febrero para ver cómo podamos ayudarnos todos. Y información es muy importante. para que nosotros también podamos seguir adelante. Y eso va a ser, precisamente para eso es la junta del 23 de febrero. Gracias.
Mayor, can I add to that real quickly? Buenas noches a todos. And I agree with Councilmember Ricardo Pacheco on what Councilmember Cruz Baca just stated, and I think it's a great idea to have an advocacy. But in the meantime, especially that all the questions are coming up right now, I know the office of Hilda Solis just opened an immigration center, and what I would recommend in the meantime is that we offer a room to the supervisor where she can keep maybe a staffer once a week, and we can advertise that day and those hours so they can have someone to go to immediately. She's already working on it, and she does have staff and resources, and I think that that would be a great partnership, that we could just offer the room and also the our staff. Le estaba comentando que es muy importante que ahorita que hay muchas preguntas, especialmente todo está pasando muy rápido. La supervisora Hilda Solís, ella tiene una oficina que acaba de abrir para los inmigrantes, y les estaba comentando que sería ahorita prudente que le ofreciéramos un cuarto a la supervisora, una oficina para que ella pueda mandarnos, por decir, alguien que esté aquí un día a la semana, varias horas, y podíamos nosotros ponerlo en el website para que ustedes sepan qué día pueden venir. Ella tiene todos los recursos, tiene todos los panfletos, y ella ya lo está haciendo mientras tengamos esa junta en febrero. Les estoy urgiendo que hagamos eso por lo pronto para que tengan a dónde que ir. Gracias.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes. Le quiero pedir por favor a la gente que por favor no se vayan todavía, porque todavía tenemos que discutir lo de los estudiantes de DACA y también la situación de homeless. So, si se quieren, por favor, quedar para que escuchen la información que les vamos a dar. Gracias.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm just asking everyone to please remain, because we're still going to be discussing on the agenda was about the DREAM Act, the Dreamers, and also the homeless situation. So please stay so that you can hear those discussions.
Thank you. Real quick, I just want to say it's amazing when you look at this election that just occurred, and it's into several weeks, and obviously there's been some corruption and a person who's no longer a part of the administration. But prior to this individual, this country was united, and right now we're divided. Quiero decir, antes de esta persona que está en la Casa Blanca en este momento, desafortunadamente, corrupción, una de las personas del gabinete, que iba a ser parte del gabinete, tuvo que renunciar. Y es triste porque hace un año o menos de un año que todos en esta nación estábamos unidos, trabajando juntos. And the unfortunate part about it is that we need to work together, because America is not one color. This great country has people from all over the globe, and I don't think there's any other country where you could witness that. Can you repeat that? Can you help me translate that one? I'll try and finish it off.
Just that part?
Decirles que en los Estados Unidos no somos de un color, somos personas de diferentes países, y no creo que hay otro país como los Estados Unidos donde uno puede encontrar a tanta gente de todo el planeta, y es algo muy especial para todos nosotros. When Donald Trump first attacked a federal judge of Mexican descent, who was an American first, and his parents were born in Mexico, that was a tragedy in itself. Yo quiero decir claramente, cuando el actual presidente atacó a un juez a nivel federal, nacido en los Estados Unidos con descendencias de México que son sus padres, esa fue una tragedia para este país. And it's amazing because he literally is attacking us. He's attacking me. And I think that is so wrong for someone to be in the White House at that level and promote what he's doing, and that's division of this great country. Lo que quiero nomás decir también que es una tragedia que una persona a ese nivel esté en la Casa Blanca dividiendo a todos nosotros. Y es por eso que necesitamos todos nosotros luchar, unirnos y no dejarnos de estas clases de personas, porque nosotros tenemos un derecho, y la Constitución, como protegió la persona que vino aquí arriba, a ustedes iguales los protege cuando están uno en este país. I just want to say that the Constitution of this country protects everyone to be able to speak, just like the individual that was up here as well, and everyone has that right. And that's why it angers me inside when I get up every morning and turn on the TV, and I won't mention the channel, I tell myself, let me see what this bozo has done today. And it's amazing when you see that. Cada mañana, y voy a terminar con eso, me levanto muy de mañana, prender la televisión, no voy a mencionar el canal, y siempre me digo yo, a ver qué va a hacer este payaso hoy. Estoy diciendo del payaso que está en la Casa Blanca. So again, I'm glad that Councilmember Cruz Baca, and I'm glad that Councilmember Monica Garcia, the Vice Mayor Susan Rubio, and Councilman Ricardo Pacheco, myself, we're united on this front because it's important for us to push together, and it's going to involve the whole community and, of course, the entire state, and we need to be a part of that particular movement. Quiero dar las gracias a consejera Cruz Baca, concejal, you corrected me one time, Mónica García, la vicealcalde Susan Rubio y concejal Ricardo Pacheco, porque tenemos que nosotros estar unidos en este caso, que es muy importante para todos los ciudadanos, aunque estén aquí legal o no. Es importante porque todos están protegidos por la Constitución. Thank you very much. All right, so... All right, so at this point, I want to go to item number 7, which is the authorization.
Did we do anything on 6?
On 6, Councilmember Cruz Baca?
I make a motion that we pass
Okay.
item number...
There's a motion by Councilmember Cruz Baca to move item number 6,
which is approve and adopt the
Yes.
resolution of the City of Baldwin Park declaring itself a sanctuary city.
All right, and it's seconded by Councilmember Ricardo Pacheco. Are there any objections? See none, so move. Okay, ha pasado. Can you repeat in Spanish?
Pasamos la resolución para que la ciudad de Baldwin Park sea un santuario.
Okay, item number 7, authorization to submit a grant application to the state. No, hold on, you can't. Please don't disrupt. Do not disrupt. Please do not disrupt. Do not disrupt. Hold on. Do not disrupt me. Do not disrupt. No permitimos esto, por favor. No, I can't. Could someone talk to her after, please? Please. When I say that, you have to stop. You have to stop, please, okay?
Mayor,
All right.
it's okay. You know what?
But
That's why we're going to have a meeting on February the 23rd.
Right.
If you want to talk to me or any of us
Yeah.
after, you wait till after the council meeting,
just
please.
wait after and we'll assist you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. At this point, authorization to submit a grant application to the State of California Department of Housing and Community Development under its Housing-Related Parks Program grant and adoption of resolution number 2017-167. Councilmember Susan Rubio, Vice Mayor Susan Rubio.
No,
I
it
didn't
was
pull
me.
that.
Oh, you was? Oh, Cruz Baca. All right.
Yes. The only reason that I pulled this item is because I got a lot of phone calls about this on the agenda. And I want to be sure, did Susie Ruelas leave? Yes. Okay. I want to be sure that if we pass this, this is what the people the residents are concerned. That this grant will be to develop or to bring in housing and community development. However, they feel that at times they have not gotten a fair chance to be able to apply for some of the affordable housing.
I agree.
That's what they would like to see.
Okay.
For this to be, I would like to bring this to, unless there's a deadline. Does anyone know if there's a deadline on this grant? Maria?
Yes, Honorable Mayor and City Council members. Actually, this is a grant because of the special projects, housing projects that the city has funded. This special grant is to provide funding to create and rehabilitate parks or recreational facilities. So it goes back to the users of recreational facilities. So at a later date, if council should approve, we would come back with a list of projects for consideration. So they're not for housing programs.
Now, out of curiosity, can we make any adoptions or changes as requested since it's federal money?
Did you hear?
Legal counsel? Or let me refer it over to legal counsel. I know that there's change. Sorry about that, Councilor Cruz Baca. Cruz Baca was making about some of the, and I agree with her on that. But the only thing is, it's federal money. So can we make changes so that it benefits ballpark residents? I mean, sometimes we have these housings, and well, let me give you a good example. The ones right here. 3,000 people applied, 70 units were open, and we couldn't pick all ballpark residents because it's federal money. Can we?
That is correct, Mayor.
Is there any alternative? I mean, I back up what you're saying.
Yes, I mean, you can carve out some for Baldwin Park residents, but you can't do it exclusively.
So in other words, can we get a percentage?
We can.
Like, okay, we set something at another meeting then? All right, I'm just curious, because I think it's fair that Baldwin Park residents come first. But
We do have a deadline.
What's the deadline?
I believe it's the 23rd. We have to apply.
Oh, yeah. We need to move it.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and make a motion. However, I would like a discussion on this and the possibilities of maybe affordable housing or housing, because there is a deadline for the 23rd of February, from what I'm told by Maria. So if we could have discussion so that we can answer some of the housing problems that some of our residents have at a later date, I would really appreciate that. Maybe with Susie Ruelas to have a workshop or
Absolutely.
a presentation.
All right, second.
Okay, all right, so the motion by Councilmember Cruz Baca, second by Councilmember Ricardo Pacheco. Any objections? See none, so move. All right, next from Cruz Baca, number 8, authorization to advertise a request for a proposal for professional services related to the 4th of July fireworks celebration. All righty.
I would like to bring this back to our council meeting in March, only because I believe that there have been a lot of questions about the budget and what is in our business improvement tax fund. So I would really like to bring this back to March so that we have time to.
I would second that as well,
All
to
right.
clarify
Okay.
some of those
So that we have time to
questions.
discuss and to be able to get some information on this.
All right, so there's a
what
motion.
the cost and everything before we go into an RP.
All right, so there's a motion, second. Any objections? See none, so move. All right, so we'll go down to item 11.
Well, Mayor, may I ask, I don't know what the timeline is, or
Is there a deadline on this?
is there any, can we wait a couple of weeks?
No, but we do go out to bid for about 30 days, and then we get the proposals, and then we're proposing to bring it back to council for consideration once we have selected a vendor.
So, Councilwoman,
And
if
this
you,
is just to go out to bid and receive quotes.
why don't we just go out to bid, it'll come back, we could discuss it in the meantime, and, I mean, there's no cost to this anyway as we go along. It's going to come back for consideration at a cost, and then that's when we
Do you
know how
have
much
time
it is.
if it was done at the beginning of March for us? You still have 30 days. If we approve it at the beginning of March, then you still have 30 days, which would bring you to the beginning of April, which is plenty of time before July.
Yes, the only thing we would have to receive approval at that meeting due to advertisement of the event for a recreational guide.
All right, I would still like to bring it back to the beginning of March. Thank you.
That's fine. All right. So at this point, there was a motion by Councilman Cruz Baca, seconded by Councilman Ricardo Pacheco. Any objections? See none, so move. All right, so we'll go over to Vice Mayor Susan Rubio. Item 11, approve and adopt a resolution of the City of Baldwin Parks urging protection of Dreamers from deportation.
Thank you, Mayor. I think Councilmember Baca pulled 9 before me.
No, I did not.
No, 6.
Was it? Okay.
We got it.
Okay, just checking. All right, thank you. Yes, thank you, Mayor. This resolution goes hand in hand with the, a little bit somewhat with sanctuary cities. This is a resolution urging the President to continue President Obama's deferred action for childhood arrivals, that's DACA. And this program, allows people to a reprieve from deportation, especially since these are children that were brought to this country without their approval, so to speak. I mean, many times we find contracts to be void if someone underage signs a contract. So in the same way, I feel that how do we criminalize these young individuals who really had no choice and came to this country without their own permission? I just want to read some statistics real quickly. And so this resolution acknowledges that immigrants are vital to many of California's industries, such as technology, healthcare, agriculture, construction, hospitality, and domestic services. Alejandra, do you want to translate?
I can translate it.
Yeah.
Go ahead and go back and read it. Sorry.
Okay. You want me to do that again? Okay. So, voy a hacer que ella traduzca, es más fácil porque es mucha información. Okay, so this resolution urges the new president to continue the deferred action for childhood arrivals called DACA.
Esta resolución urge al nuevo presidente que continúe con el programa DACA.
And these are individuals who were brought over to this country without their permission. They really had no say-so and could not make a decision on their own. I shared that just like a contract, we find it void if someone underage signs a contract because they didn't have the mental capacity to make a decision. In the same way, we shouldn't criminalize these young individuals for not making that decision on their own.
Y lo que es este programa es, trajo a niños, por ejemplo, que ellos no tuvieron la opción de ser traídos a los Estados Unidos. No es como que ellos pudieron firmar un contrato aceptando que pueden venir, ellos no tuvieron una opción.
This resolution acknowledges that immigrants are vital to California's industries such as technology, healthcare, agriculture, construction, hospitality, and domestic services.
Esto reconoce que estos individuales, I was trying to read where you were, I'm sorry, son vital para la tecnología, la salud, agricultura, and I missed one. Oh, perfect. Hospitalidad y servicios domésticos.
We did some research, and the Institute on Taxation and Economic Policy has reported that undocumented immigrants in California paid $2.2 billion in state and local taxes in 2010.
En el 2010 se usó una investigación y se descubrió que estos inmigrantes pagaron $2.5 billones en el 2010.
Including $1.8 billion in sales taxes,
incluyendo 1.8 billones en taxes,
152.1 million in state income taxes,
152.1 millones en taxes del estado, impuestos,
and 302.8 million in property taxes.
Y 302.8 billones en taxes de propiedad, impuestos de propiedad.
And it's important to note that 1/3 of the nation's 742,000 dreamers live in California, and nobody would be more impacted than the state of California, especially our community, which is mostly comprised of immigrants.
Y se sabe que 1/3 de la nación, 742 millones dreamers viven en California y que han recibido un estudio del colegio y son empleados.
So it's really important for me to point out that, once again, I think that we're trying to criminalize these young individuals, which is really unfair because some of them came over when they were 2, 3, 4, and really don't know any other home except here. And so I want to just share that personally, I happen to be an original dreamer. In my household, there are 2 dreamers, and one currently sits besides the governor making decisions for the state of California as the elected assembly member.
Creo que es muy injusto que estamos tratando de criminalizar a estas personas que fueron traídas aquí a la edad de 2, 3 o 4 años. Originalmente quiero que sepan que yo fui una de esos dreamers y tengo 2 personas en mi familia que también fueron dreamers y ahorita uno de ellos se sienta en la Asamblea del Estado.
And just to share why this is so personal to me, because there's been a lot of rhetoric about how immigrants come to this country to take, and sometimes we're not mindful of service. And just so you know, combined, myself and my sister have served 30 years combined public service and combined over 30 years educating the children of these communities. And so that's 2 people in this community. Les quiero decir que a veces dice la gente que los inmigrantes vienen a estas ciudades para tomar del gobierno y no dar. Les quería comentar que las 2 somos maestras. Yo soy una de las originales Dreamers y mi hermana y yo, las 2 somos maestras, tenemos más de 30 años combinado educando a los niños de esta comunidad. Igualmente tenemos 30 años combinados sirviendo en la capacidad de servir a la comunidad. Yo 12 años, ella 20 años, ahorita como comentó ella está sentada a la derecha del gobernador haciendo decisiones para el estado de California. Yo aquí estoy enfrente de ustedes haciendo decisiones como la vicealcalde de la ciudad y por eso es muy importante darle esa oportunidad a los niños. Yo pienso que es un testamento que si se le da la oportunidad a niños que vienen chiquitos, no todos vienen a tomar y a dar malos ejemplos. Hay muchos que vienen a trabajar, a proveer oportunidades para otras personas y con eso quiero hacer la moción de que pasemos esta resolución urgiéndole al presidente que siga con el programa DACA. So with that, Mayor, I strongly urge that we pass this resolution in support of DACA. Thank you, Mayor.
All right,
I second.
Seconded by Councilmember Cruz Baca.
But Mayor, I'm sorry, I just want to piggyback off of what Vice Mayor Rubio said. There are many students here in Baldwin Park,
Correct.
and I'm sure that the schools and some of the parents know that these children are DACA students, the Deferred Action students. Some of them have gone on to Berkeley. I know two that went on to Harvard and Yale. Some of them are working, believe it or not, as immigration attorneys right now. And so the fact that they come here to work and to move ahead, I commend them against all odds, because they went to school without being able to qualify, of course, for scholarships. They had to have part-time jobs, or their parents worked 2, 3, 4 jobs in order to send them to the schools that they went to. And I congratulate them, and I too support the Dreamers and all the people here, not only in the city of Baldwin Park, but throughout the United States. Thank you.
Thank you. No, right. So at this point, any objections? See none, so moved. All right, we'll go over to the public hearing consideration. Actually, for Chief, this got moved over to March 1st, am I correct? Or March 3rd? March 1st? All righty. So at this one, do we need a motion for this? Okay, I'll go ahead. Motion to move over to March 3rd. Second, any objection? Item number 13, the consideration of employment agreement with David Salcedo for the position of Chief of Police. All right, any objections? See none, so move. Can we move the budget over? Will it hurt? We come back again? Oh, it's okay, Tom? Okay. I'm going to make a motion to move item number 14, which is review of the fiscal year 2016-17 mid-year budget. That is my motion. Any objections? See none, so move. Seconded by Councilman Ricardo Pacheco. I want to move out for the following meeting, item number 15, the agreement with the Nationwide Cost Recovery Service vacant abandoned property registration. That's my motion.
Mayor, I would like to comment on that one in
Sure.
particular. I see that it's here on the agenda, but in the past, we've had some discrepancies on monies and how much we paid, and it was lengthy. And so I'd rather have this item in a closed, I'm sorry, not closed, but study session where we can ask questions and have those questions answered. So I would make the motion not to bring it back in concept, but rather discuss it more as a study session. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay.
Second.
Yes, been seconded, and yes, go ahead.
And I'd also like to ask, I know that there are staff costs that are mentioned in the report, but they're not actually broken out. And so I'd like to know what the associated staff costs have been with regard to the program. There is mention of it in the background, 1, 2, 3, the third paragraph. It says, since the last contract with NCRS, code enforcement staffing levels have increased from 1 full-time employee to 4 full-time employees. So I'd like to know the costs associated. Thank you.
All righty. Okay, I may have several others myself, but I'll submit. All right, and then plus we're going to have the, all right, so at this point, we've made a motion by Councilmember Susan Rubio, and Vice Mayor, excuse me, and second by Councilman Cruz Baca. Any objections? See none, so moved. Yes.
Can I clarify
yes.
that motion, Mayor? Was that was a
We're gonna
motion
move it
for
to,
a
study
study
session.
session?
The motion, yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor,
Yes.
I'd like to ask for, at the next council meeting study session,
Yes,
at a
ma'am.
date certain, not, at the next council meeting, in that study session, we'll bring this back?
Yes, yes, that's
Okay.
correct. All right, so at this point, we'll go over to the request by Mayor Pro Tem Rubio for council to discuss, consider a storm water collection master plan that would include collaborating with our neighboring cities and identifying areas that can be transformed into storm water capture facilities.
Mayor, this is going to be a very lengthy conversation, and I know it's been a long meeting, so I would ask that you bring this back to the next meeting
That's
so
awesome.
we don't keep the audience here so long. Thank you, Mayor.
All right, thank you, Vice Mayor.
Mayor, excuse
Yes.
me, because my item is also connected to the stormwater collection. I would
okay.
like for that to be brought as well, since we're talking about stormwater.
Okay, very good. All right, thank you. And then, all right, so at this point, there is also a motion to include Councilmember Cruz Baca's requests. So at this point, there was motion. Second. Any objections? See not so move. This one, request by Councilmember Garcia for council to discuss and consider a report on the capital improvement project budget CIP, specifically with regards to street repaving and alleys improvements. And go ahead, you could read number.
All
Go
right.
ahead.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so several years ago, I want to say it was like 2008, between 2008 and 2010, we received a lot of stimulus funds for the improvement of our streets. And I'd like to have the budget and just a report on, how much funding do we currently have and how are we prioritizing that funding based on the needs of our street resurfacing? Because I've gone through, and I know that there have been heavy rains recently, and what happens is that does impact the quality of our streets. So I'm seeing more potholes, I'm seeing more crumbling. And so if we can get a report, that would be great. Also, I mentioned the alley improvements. I'd like to know if we've ever had a survey of alleys in our city and to know which ones have been repaired, which ones have not, why haven't they been repaired, and where are they again in the list of priorities. So if we can have a report developed, that would be great, and present it to council. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, so at this point, I'm going to go ahead and,
Mayor?
yes.
There's a second
that's
item
right.
here,
Sorry
a
about
report from the Chief of Police on recent public safety incidents and recommendations for identifying and addressing trends. So I thought this would be a perfect opportunity for us to get a full report, especially since we have a new Chief of Police coming on board in March. And so this is a request that we look at what are the trends that are happening right now in our city, and how is our Chief of Police and the police department and the city looking to address those trends. We've seen some incidents, unfortunately, that have been high profile. And so I think it's a good time for us to look closely at that and to understand what we're doing to address the crime in our community. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. All right, so at this point, I'd like to move for adjournment of the City Council.
Second.
Any objections? Seeing none, so move. At this point, I'd like to open up the Finance Authority, and I will go ahead and make a motion for consent calendar items 1, Treasury Report.
Second.
Any objections? Seeing none, so move. This one, I'd like to move for adjournment of the
Second.
Finance Committee. Thank you. All right. Any objections? Seeing none, so move. This one, I'd like to open up the Housing Authority. We have consent calendar items 1. That is my motion.
Second.
Any objections? Seeing none, so move. At this point, I'd like to move for adjournment of the Housing Authority.
Second.
Any objections? Seeing none, so move. Good evening. Viva Baldwin Park.
Viva Baldwin Park, that's right.
Oh, my God. Thanks. Buenas noches todos. Yes.
Buenas noches, muchísimas gracias por estar aquí.